Hello, everybody. My name is Jasmine, and I will be going over organization theory. And before I want to deep dive into the presentation, I kind of like the image that's on this first slide in regards to organization and some of the components that I'm going to discuss. It kind of caught my eye because the work of division that I'll speak over more further in the presentation. But this was a good example of division of work to me, because the color pencils are divided by the colors. So there's pink, blue, green, yellow, and orange. And then it takes a step further and I analyzed it a little bit more and saw that not only is it these are the green color pencils, it's the different hues. So it's a light green, yellow green, a dark green. And that to me represented that yes, we are green color pencils, but I may be a young single mother, and someone over there may be a grandmother or just a different backgrounds, but all at the end of the day, we're all still a green color pencil. So just a thought whenever I continue to go through the different components of the organization theory. So kind of just an overview of what we'll be going over, the title, which I just over explained. And then, of course, Gluck's theory from 1937, division, the work division, coordination, and then the closing and references. So to begin, Luther Gulick created a theory in 1937 in regards to the notes on the theory of organization. And this kind of just, kind of brief overview is just coordination structure. So as far as like the authority or being responsible for one's task for the greater good of the group. Kind of that structure and work division dependent on one another and how that's the success of organization within a company or a state, kind of whatever the main organization's goal. So in regards to work division, that kind of goes back to those color pencils in the beginning on the title page. And so with work division, I read everything, and at the end of it, I guess I kind of just asked myself the $1,000,000 question, like, so what's the purpose of work division? And does it actually work? Have I seen it actually work? Does it actually work according to what is written in the book? And so what I've gotten from it is work division is basically to maximize production with workmen with different skills and capacities. So that goes back again to that color pencil image that I had put in. So we're all here for the same task in our division of work, but we all have different skills, different capacities, different, there's something different about us. It's just human nature. It's what it is. But at the end of the day, we're all here to do the same task for the greater good of what we're trying to mass produce. And with that being said, that eliminates time. So these are the strengths of work division. So maximizing your production and then eliminating that lost time, as if one person had to do a certain amount of the same job with 1,000 different components, rather than just splitting up those different components for the greater good of the production. And therefore, you max out more than you probably would have produced with that one person doing all the task. But some limitations were the volume of work, and I can see that especially in my line of work. Sometimes now I have my own work task, but sometimes I can be given too many, and that goes back to that skills and capability. One person, young, single, 25, can probably produce twice as much as someone in their 40s maybe. It all depends on the skills and task that is being presented. And then technology and customs This just goes into what's the newest thing out, what's the latest software, what's the latest machinery. Just kind of as innovation grows, we grow as a company. And with that being said, so does the cost and cost accounting for that intervention. So, um, say we use Mac laptops at work. So as Macs, and I don't have a Mac. I don't really like Macs, so this analogy could be wrong. But say Macs, I know Apple always changes their software there. There's always an update. So say in your organization you have to work with Mac computers, and over again as the data or the software updates, you want to update that. So there's cost to that, to the software. There's cost to getting trained on the new software if there's something different that you didn't use last time. So just little different components such as that. And in regards to coordination, so there's two primary types. One is by organization. So this is kind of just that work division that was being mentioned in the beginning on the last slide. So kind of an example is what I want to give for my department. So I do grants processing at Schwab Charitable, which is a separate entity from Charles Schwab, but in a whole we're all the same. So I do grant processing, which is our donors open an account with us for a donor advised fund, so they get a tax exemption on their contributions that they bring in, and those are irrevocable. And from there on, they have so many securities, and so basically their funds are sitting in this account, and from then on they can grant to different charities that are eligible under that IRS determination, basically, in regards to a donor advised fund. And so from that point, we have like a work division of who assigns those grants. And from there, we're assigned grants from anywhere, depends on the season, but anywhere from 60 grants a day, and towards the end of the year, like starting November, we see our volumes up to 100 grants per person a day. So it kind of depends on the season. And then once we receive those grants, I feel like that's when it goes into the dominance, which is the second primary type. And so from then on, it's kind of like just a group project. So we're assigned about, again, depending on the season, but we're assigned about 900 grants amongst a group of 10 of us. So we have 900 grants, and so we're all given our portion of grants depending on your skill and capability. Some of us grant specialists that are seniority, we get about 100 grants a day because we've been through the process. We know what's going on, we know what's good, what's not good, what we need to question, what's okay. Some of those that are new kind of get between 40 and 60 just so that they can get those processed, and that's pretty much what they can get done within their workload in a day. And so this picture is from Hangover. And I'm sorry, and it definitely just changed. But I know in that image it was showing, see why it will not let me go back. But in that image, it was kind of like the group project when you're in high school. And so, you know, you have that person that's like 100% dedicated. They're like, let's get this knocked out the next day. And then you got that person that's like, I'm going to wait about 24 hours before this is due. And you have that one person that's kind of like, well, let's link up together and get our stuff done, kind of feeding off the other person. So with group work, I know it's kind of, it's you, yourself, you're assigned a task for the greater good of the group. But it sometimes never works out that way. But in closing, I was reaching out to see if anybody has any questions, which can be submitted in the response, and I will respond back. And then any suggestions, good or bad, regarding presentation, slides, transformations. I know that last one, I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to figure out if there's a way to go back whenever you already go forward in a presentation. But I'm open to suggestions, good or bad, and thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day.